This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin with breaking news. A juvenile was arrested today after another threat was made toward Liberty Middle School. Police say this threat was made this morning, and it's different from the one we told you about last night. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley is live now at the school. Bailey, how many threats does that make this week?
Stacey, we're now sitting at 4 threats just since Monday. That first one coming in Monday night, made on Snapchat. The threat so specific that it caused officials to make a virtual learning day for Cheney Middle School students. 2 students have since been arrested and charged in that case. Just like you said, 2 more threats were made last night. One aimed towards Heritage Middle School, the other one aimed towards Liberty Middle School. Today's threat is completely different from last night. Police say both of those threats made last night were not credible. Today's was made on Snapchat around 11:30, and police say within an hour they had that student arrested. Police say that through their investigation they found that the student had no intention of carrying out that threat, but obviously families and students are on edge tonight, again, as this makes the 4th school shooting or threat of violence threat just this week. Now, we don't know what that Snapchat said. We don't know what it depicted, but it was enough, as West Fargo police say they plan to forward charges of felony terrorizing to the Cass County State's Attorney's Office. For now, live in West Fargo tonight, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
It's unbelievable. Thanks, Bailey. Meanwhile, a juvenile in Pembina County charged with terrorizing in connection to a potential threat there at the North Border School. Sheriff Terry Meidinger says the sheriff's office was called to the school Tuesday to investigate. Deputies have not released information on the manner of that threat, but they thank the public for bringing it to their attention. Meanwhile, 2 students were arrested today at Bagley High School, according to the Clearwater Sheriff. One of the students made a comment about taking the school resource officer's gun when school administration tried to address the comment. They say another student got involved and the situation escalated. Police say the students were combative and refused to cooperate, so they were handcuffed and removed from the school. The county attorney there is reviewing the situation to determine if charges will be filed. New for you at 5, a pickup has major damage after crashing at a railroad crossing south of Castleton today. North Dakota Highway Patrol says Trevor Altman was cited for not stopping at a railroad crossing. He was driving south on Highway 18 about 2 miles south of Castleton, and he says he didn't see the oncoming train, stop arm, or flashing red lights. Altman swerved into the crossing arm at 65 miles per hour. The arm then hit the oncoming train. The truck had to be towed from the scene. Altman wasn't hurt, and the 2 people in the train are also okay. It's a bit warmer outside today. Hutch tells us how long these temperatures will stick around. Hutch?
Stacey, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. Our temperatures are going to start falling fairly quickly this evening after we did enjoy some near 40-degree temperatures today. Sisseton, you're still at 36. That white line, remember, that's a freezing line. So south of it, it's above freezing. We're back down below freezing here in Fargo after enjoying above freezing briefly. Thief River, you have 29. Langdon, a cool 19 already as we head into the evening hours. Take a look at what we have going on the satellite and radar. Clear skies west, a few clouds to the east in Minnesota, but not a lot in the way of snowflakes out there as we take a look at your planning forecast for tonight. Thanks to mostly clear skies early, we'll see quickly falling temperatures into those low 20s and teens into the overnight hours. Then the clouds start building in here in Fargo, slowing our rate of cooling, but up north it looks like an even colder night. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we'll have a big update for you for travelers this weekend. A storm looks to hit South Dakota and Minnesota, and then next week the valley looks to be, well, the bullseye for some pretty potent weather. That begins Wednesday and into Thursday, both first alert weather days. Stacey, details on that, and you get to meet a wonderful weather kid here in just a few minutes.
Looking forward to that. Thanks, Hutch. The girlfriend of Dante Wright was the first witness called today on day 2 of the trial of the former police officer Kim Potter, who claims she accidentally mistook her gun for a taser when she shot and killed Wright. Wright's girlfriend was in the car with Wright when he was shot back in April. This newly released video shows her being taken into the police car. She was understandably emotional when she took the stand.
He was really scared. Like, I've never seen him like that before. Because if you know Dante like this, it's just really happy, it's positive, and to can't really be like sad or depressed or angry or mad around him. And like he was just like so nervous and flustered, and I could tell he was just scared.
Wright's family and civil rights attorneys say they don't believe it was an accident, pointing out that Potter worked for the Brooklyn Center Police Department for 26 years and even trained other officers. Two $100 million lawsuits are being filed against the Oxford Community School District in response to the fatal shooting that took place at a high school last month. An attorney says the suits are being filed on behalf of a child who was shot in the neck and her sister who was next to her when she was shot. The suits allege that parents alerted school administrators about concerning social media posts made by the suspected shooter before the incident. An attorney says school administrators failed their students.
We're going to hold people responsible for betraying the trust we put in them to protect our children. We're going to hold every one of them responsible.
Officials say 15-year-old Ethan Crumbly killed 4 students and wounded 6 others and a teacher during that shooting spree. A Canadian man has been sentenced to 6.5 years in federal prison after he was pulled over in northern Minnesota earlier this year with dozens of guns in his vehicle. The United States Attorney's Office says Dane Cited was convicted of being an unlawful alien in possession of firearms. The criminal complaint says a trooper pulled over at Musée and Cited near Fergus Falls on January 10th after they were clocked speeding nearly 100 miles per hour. The trooper asked to search the vehicle after smelling marijuana, which Cited consented to, but asked that none of their bags be searched. After further investigation, troopers confiscated 67 firearms and several magazines. They also found out the 2 were already wanted for a range of crimes, including homicide and kidnapping. At least 650 migrants have died this year crossing into the U.S. at the southern border. That's according to the International Organization for Migration. The agency didn't give a reason for the deaths, but they did say this is the highest number of deaths in 1 year since documentation started back in 2014. The agency notes the arrest of migrants along the U.S.-Mexico border were also high in 2021, even during months when numbers typically drop. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security wants the public's help. The agency looking for ideas on how to prevent future family separations at the border. They say public comments will be accepted until January 10th. Under the Trump administration, more than 3,000 children were separated from their families at the U.S.-Mexico border. Shortly after taking office, President Biden established a federal task force to reunite those families. New data from FEMA shows 600 North Dakotans receive federal help to cover funeral costs for COVID-19 related deaths. The organization says it's paid out more than $4.4 million since January 20th of 2020. The program is still open with no end date set. Families can qualify for up to $9,000 in assistance per funeral. The FDA just authorized Pfizer's COVID-19 booster for 16 and 17-year-olds. It's the first COVID booster authorized for this age group. Like adults, 16 and 17-year-olds are now eligible to receive a booster dose 6 months after their second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. The move comes just 1 day after Pfizer released studies showing 2 doses plus the booster are enough to neutralize the Omicron variant. Many are wondering if electric cars can handle a North Dakota winter. Up next, we'll tell you how they stack up against regular cars.
And a big warm up today where you see the orange colors. We have temperatures right now that are 5 to 15 degrees warmer than yesterday at this time. Changes are coming. We will cool off. A gorgeous setting sun captured here by our Tower Cam time lapse from the Dakota Magic Casino. Your forecast includes a chance of snow, a real good chance next week. First alert weather days Wednesday and Thursday. Details next.